Thank you and welcome to the show for today. You are watching Perspectives and I am host Alana McLaughlin. This morning on the show I have three ladies of Tennessee music here to discuss their backgrounds, their educations, their music experiences, and the impact that they seek to leave through sharing their creativity and sharing their music with Nashville. I have OG Pearl, KiaratheSoulChild, and Intutai the artist here with me this morning to discuss the topic called Women in Tennessee Music. This is a continuation of a series that I began about this time last year with artists Blasian B3, Shell Fox, Mimi the Goat, Sweet Poison Music, and Avriana the Personality, where we discuss the impact of being female artists in Tennessee, the impact that they seek to leave through sharing their stories, through sharing their experiences, through being vulnerable with the community, and ultimately the ways that we can support them and connect with them through their endeavors. And I thank you ladies for joining me this morning to continue this conversation and to promote women in Tennessee music. I want to take this first segment to do baby years, to kind of do a mini introduction of my three guests this morning. And Pearl, I'd like to start with you. Tell me your name, your stage name, and a quick glimpse of kind of what childhood looked like for you, where you're from, kind of what family looked like, and set up those baby Pearl years.
Yes, baby Pearl. Woo, baby Pearl. So my stage name, of course, most people know as OG Pearl, but my God-given name was Kayla Nicole, so feel free to call me that if you like, but my stage name is OG Pearl, you guys. But young baby Pearl years, I kind of grew up in church, grew up around music. My father was a DJ, so that's kind of how that got started, and it just kind of evolved into something different.
I love that. Evolved, and I love that. Kiara, that same introduction, kind of those baby Kiara years.
Yeah, so my name is Kiara Aldridge originally, but my stage name is KiaratheSoulChild. That comes from me being an R&B singer. I started off in the church, so I've been singing basically since I could talk. And over the years, like my passion for it just grew, and I've had a lot of different opportunities, so I decided to take it serious.
I have to ask, what church did you start at?
I'm from Paris, Tennessee, so I started off in a church called Queen Chapel.
What denomination?
What denomination? What do you mean?
Or like was it Baptist or like?
Baptist, yes.
Oh, so you got that Baptist spirit in you. Yeah, we will touch back on that. And Intutai, that same kind of those baby Intutai years, you are almost like cheating. You kind of knew kind of what to expect as this is your second time on Perspectives, and I thank you for returning. But tell me again, those baby years.
Okay, so my name is Keymaya Butler, but I go by Intutai the artist. I grew up, born and raised, Nashville, Tennessee, South Nashville to be exact. And I started off doing poetry in middle school. And that led to me music, producing, an artist. I mean, I'm everywhere in the industry, so right now I'm just focused on being the artist and pushing out my message to the youth.
Yeah. And I want to take about the last few minutes of this first segment to talk about what our environments look like, those early childhood environments. Intutai, I'm starting back with you. We're kind of flipping it up. I know that you just mentioned South Nashville. I want you to tell me some of the things that you experienced and witnessed in that childhood and kind of how that shaped you in those early years.
Well, growing up in South Nashville, where I grew up, JC, UC, it's kind of an environment where you see a lot of things. I grew up around a lot of violence, a lot of criminal activity, just losing a lot of friends in the streets and stuff like that. So that shaped me to want to be different and not be a product of my environment. So I needed to do something, and music is my way of letting people know that you can come from that environment, but you can rise and grow through adversity.
I know that's right. Yeah. And Kiara, that same kind of environmental experience, I think that's especially interesting that you're from Paris. Tell me about childhood and kind of what your environment looked like.
I'm from a small town, so really coming from where I'm from, it's a very small town. Just about everybody in Paris I'm related to.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just a lot of family. I had a very positive environment growing up, I will say. I didn't really have like a lot of music influence, but my mother could sing, and that's where I got that from.
So you kind of branched out and did what in Paris? What's kind of the norm? Like, what are people working in, like the industries and factories? Are they kind of what? You laughing at me? Kind of set that up for me. What did you see your peers kind of getting into?
There's nothing going on in Paris, Tennessee.
Oh man, that's not fun. Look, please, if you're from Paris, please.
I love my city, but there's absolutely nothing going on there. We have one Walmart and one elementary school. So I'm from a very small town.
So basically, you were kind of like really looking for those creative outlets and found music. And we're gonna pick back up on that. And Pearl, I want you to spend about this last minute telling me about what your environment looked like in that childhood.
So my environment growing up, a lot of band and a lot of church quartet programs. So I grew up watching people perform in front of people. Although it wasn't in the realm scope of music that I do now, it was completely gospel. But seeing them be influential in that way, I used to sit there and like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. Like, oh my goodness, I want to do this. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do that. So it evolved from me learning how to do the instruments to me learning how to project and use my voice as well as the instrument.
And those two things, and I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry, but those two things in combination kind of set up what OG Pearl is today. And in our second segment, we're going to pick back up, ladies, on those early music experiences, those early inspirations, whether it's a music video, an aunt, a church group, and ultimately we're going to talk about ways that the community can connect with y'all. And I encourage viewers to tune into the second segment of Perspectives, where I will return with these three women to discuss women in Tennessee music. To the second segment of the show for today. You are watching Perspectives, and I am host Alana McLaughlin. This morning on the show, the title of this episode is called Women in Tennessee Music 2. This is a continuation of an episode of a series that I began about a year ago with artists Blasian B3, Mimi the Goat, Sweet Poison Music, Shell Fox, and Ariana the Personality. We discussed the album that they had released about a year ago, and we ultimately talked about the importance of representation for women here in Tennessee in hip-hop music. And we talked about just some of the ways that their artistries and that their careers are unique and impactful here in Nashville. This morning, I have OG Pearl, KiaratheSoulChild, and Intutai the artist here discussing their backgrounds, their early music experiences, their careers, and ultimately the impact that they seek to leave on Nashville communities through their music. We're coming right back in our first segment. We kind of set up their early lives, some of the areas that these ladies are from, kind of what they witnessed in their environments and their families in those early years. We're coming right back in to talk about early music experiences. We're talking about just some of the early inspirations and the early moments, the pivotal moments that these ladies had as children or young adolescents that inspired them to go on to become music artists. We're coming right back in. Early experiences. Everyone has that first music video, that first concert. For me, back when I thought that I was going to be an R&B singer, it was Sierra and Jazzy Faye. I think, God, there was so much Sierra and Jazzy Faye, but just Sierra. I thought that I was Sierra.
Yes.
And you couldn't tell me at 6 years old that I was not Sierra. Like, I was like on top of people's cars, like, yeah, God, Mom, don't kill me. But she was inspirational to me. Yes. And so I want to hear about kind of that early experience for y'all, whether it was at church, kind of 106 in Park, just any of those early experiences. And Kiara, I want to start with you. I know that's totally out of order, but tell me about those early music experiences.
Well, it's really funny how I started off singing, and I was really young, but my favorite singer was Tina Turner at like the age of 7.
Oh yeah,
so that's right. I was singing Tina Turner songs, Proud Mary. That was the very first thing the dance and the routine. I wanted to do all of that. So
you got taste, girl.
Yeah. So when I started just singing and messing around with it, my family was just like, Kiara, you can sing? They were like, what? And so my grandmother, she took that and ran with it. We used to watch a lot of shows together, like American Idol and The Voice and stuff. And eventually she would begin to take me to those auditions and stuff like that. I got a call back when I was 16, and that's when I decided to take music serious.
Now, a call back from American Idol?
From The Voice.
From The Voice?
Yeah.
Tell me about, no, we cannot. You're just like, I just got to call back. Girl, what?
We got to hear that.
Tell me about that experience.
Well, so, yeah, like from my early years, even just like at the age of 13, my grandmother always like traveled to different cities with me, and she would make me go to these auditions and, just try out. And I had been doing it since, I was like 13 or 14, but when I was 16, by then I had enough experience and I knew what they were expecting.
Right.
So it was actually here when I auditioned too in Nashville. I was 16, and we were the first group to go in to audition, and they called me back to go in to perform for the next round. Wow. So yeah, it was surreal.
I bet, especially at 16.
At 16, yeah.
And ladies, Intutai or Pearl, whoever kind of feels most compelled, tell me about those early experiences, whether it be that inspiration, that performance. Tell me about kind of when that love was spawned within you for music.
So I feel like for me, 6th grade, I used to do a lot of the poem assignments, and the teacher would always ask me to present to the class. That's when it first started. And then I grew watching the rap, the rap game with Jermaine Dupri, and seeing all them on there rapping.
On it?
Yeah, Lotto, Fly J. So really just growing up watching that show. And then in middle school, I started doing like covers, like rapping.
Okay.
I did like the Dage Love Try Me remix. Like I was remixing all of the popular songs that was coming out. That was in about 7th and 8th grade. And that's when I started to like, dang, like I can really rap. And from that point on, that's what I wanted to do, but it's crazy because I jumped out of high school doing audio engineering and music production. So music has always been therapy for me, so it was kind of like on the back burner, like, nah, I just need to vent right quick. But I was pursuing beats and stuff. That's what I was most known for, but music has always been here for me. And now I'm just taking it and shaping it and putting everything I know to inspire my community and the youth. So that's where it started.
A part that we kind of skipped over with your story and with your transition from audio engineering into this full-time music is you've gone through some pretty pivotal experiences.
Yes, June 2nd, it's actually about to be 2 years, but June 2nd, 2023, I was shot in both legs, being an innocent bystander at a music video shoot in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So that kind of changed my lens on my outside look on music. At that time, I was going by the stage name K Savage. So after that, I started going to speak at schools to the youth. I didn't want them to give me that savage stereotype, so I found, you know, my soul name on my spiritual journey, and that's where Intutai was born. Yeah.
Pearl.
I like that.
I know. It make
like
you sit
that.
back and be like, whoo. You can feel the spirit in that.
Yeah, especially when you've been through, and I'm gonna pick up on what she said, especially when you've been through a pivotal, life-changing experience. I wasn't in the same situation, but I dealt with something similar to where you're not sure if you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying? That next breath, you're not sure if that's gonna be your last one. So when you see that you have talents like those moments, it make you really step in and go hard, because it's like I almost didn't have the ability to do this at one point. So for me, as far as like early childhood and pivotal experiences with music, it was my father. He was a DJ. So it was him taking me to a Destiny's Child concert at a very young age. I was so small, he had to put me on his shoulders.
I know that's right.
So me seeing every view, I'm seeing the crowd, I'm seeing them, I'm seeing people watching them, people on the sides, I'm seeing the camera crew. I was like, this is a lifestyle I want. And from that moment on, I started doing talent shows at school. I'm trying to join groups at church. I'm trying to, hey, y'all need a singer? And I couldn't sing back then. That's why I turned.
But still just going on and doing it.
But like Kiara said, like getting that experience to see what it was that they needed and what it was that they require as far as an artist and a performer.
Now, ladies, I want to take about the last minute of the second segment. I want to go through and just tell me some of the ways that you believe that your music is unique. Tell me some of the characteristics that make you you, that make you Pearl, Kiara, Intutai. And Pearl, I want to start with you, but just tell me kind of what makes you Pearl, aside from the pearls right here.
So, okay, just to pick up on my father, my dad used to have me listening to a lot of, and I'm old school, he used to have me listening to a lot of Bootsy Collins, a lot of Parliament.
Yeah.
And when you pay attention to these people, or if you just look at them, they always have that one look about themselves that either people drew and attached to that look, and it made them then attached to the music. But that's kind of where I get the idea of the pearls, because Bootsy Collins is known for his star-shaped glasses. And if you don't see him with them star-shaped glasses on, or that star-shaped guitar, you don't know that's him. So that's kind of what gave me the idea to do that.
And we're going to pick right back up on just kind of some of those unique characteristics about you guys' artistry and careers. We're going to talk current career, all that you guys have planned, and ways that the community can connect with you and support you. And I encourage our viewers to tune into the final segment of Perspectives, where we will return to discuss women in Tennessee music too. We're watching Perspectives, and I am host Alana McLaughlin. This morning on the show, I've had three awesome women here to discuss women in Tennessee music. I've had OG Pearl, Kiara the Soul Child, and Intutai the artist here discussing their backgrounds, their artistries, their early music inspirations, and ultimately the impact that they seek to leave on our community through their music. In our first two segments, we set up my guests' early lives, kind of what childhood looked like, some of the experiences that they had in their individual communities. And we're coming right back in this last segment to talk about current career. We're talking about what makes these ladies interesting, what makes them unique, ways that national viewers and prospective viewers can support them and connect with them after this episode, and ultimately the impact that they seek to leave on our wonderful city through their music. Ladies, we're coming right back in. Pearl, you just left off in our second segment. You referenced Bootsy Collins,
yes,
and like the rubber band, and we were talking about what makes him unique, those glasses, and we talked about Parliament and just kind of what makes these different kind of those funk groups, what makes them unique, and it's that look. And we're continuing that conversation about look and style. Kiara, I just want to know what makes Kiara the Soul Child, Kiara the Soul Child.
Well, I think like my beliefs, for one, go hand in hand with why I chose to call myself Kiara the Soul Child, not just with the singing. People like, this is just something that I'm used to being told, like, you have a lot of soul, or, you know, people would just call me Soul Child. So I just took that and I ran with it. I think, you know, just my beliefs and the way I carry myself, that kind of thing really goes hand in hand with why I chose the name and what makes me unique. And also my versatility as an artist too, because I'm not just an R&B singer.
Tell me what you are.
Well, I mean, I don't really call myself a rapper, nothing like that. I just, you know, she referred to it as poetry. So I like to call it that. I don't really put myself in that aisle as being a rapper, but I play with my sound a lot. So people usually hear like a lot of different things coming from me.
And I love that you highlighted that. Like, don't box me in as a rapper, honey. I'm a creator.
Exactly. I'm an artist.
I know that's right. Intutai, kind of that same thing. And I want to talk about this crown on your head. I think that makes you unique. And I want you to include Fix My Crown with this crown on your head. But again, that same kind of topic. What makes Intutai unique?
Well, for starters, I feel like the name is very unique to me. Going through my spiritual journey and finding out who I am at a soul level here on this earth and my mission and what I'm supposed to be here doing, because we all got one. And, you know, my awakening was after I got shot. So that led me to want to see, like, why did I survive? Like, I got a second chance at life, so what I'm supposed to do with it? I feel like I am able to transmute my pain into my passion in my music, because if you listen to most of my music, I'm speaking about what I've been through and what I'm going through. So once I found out that it was not only therapy for me, but I'm releasing music for other people that's going through the same thing, like Inner Child, Fix My Crown, that resonate with everyone, and that's why I got the crown on my head. Right now, I just released Fix My Crown, a music video. I collaborated with John Early Middle School students. Shout out to them, and shout out to everybody who contributed, you as well. Shout out to Prospective Foss, because she definitely tapped in and helped make that video happen, but it's all about leaving a mark. The youth is the next generation, so we got to make sure that the youth straight. That's something that I want all the kids to look back and remember, like, hey, I did this. And a lot of the kids participated because they wanted, you know, John Early kind of had a bad rep. So a lot of those kids, they wanted people to know, hey, we can do stuff like this too. And I'm just grateful that I was, you know, given a chance and an opportunity to be able to give those kids a chance to, you know, we doing numbers. We get played in Brazil right now on the radio. So, man, I got to make sure I fix my crown every day, all day. So that's what made me unique. That's what made me unique.
Everybody just shift their crown real quick. Like, But Intutai, you almost jumped the gun. You kind of led us into current career. That was what I was going to ask next. And Kiara, I'm coming right back to you. But tell me what you're working on, what you have planned, anything fun that you've participated in within the last year or two, and tell me just kind of what current career looks like for Kiara the Soul Child.
Okay, so I am a professional licensed esthetician, but I'm going back to school now to get my medical certification. So that's what I do just outside of the music thing. You said experiences. What was it?
And performance experiences, recording, just kind of anything that you're into right now.
What I'm working on right now? Well, I'm working on an R&B project with Keymaya. So that's exciting. Me and him went to high school together. So for us to actually like be doing this is so cool. He's so talented. But I definitely have an R&B project that's in the works right now.
Yes, and Pearl, that same thing. Kind of what's OGP working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on getting into the film and media world. Like I was telling the girls earlier, OG Pearl getting old. He's starting to buckle. So I'm looking for more avenues where I can still continue my artistry and still continue as a musician and it not shut down doors or limit me. Like you said, I don't like to be boxed in. Like, don't box me in. So that's my current experiences and current career as far as like right now. But of course, you know, we got shows and all that coming up, so I'm sure we'll touch on that in a second.
And throw out, ladies, feel free, any upcoming shows, anything that you're eyeing, anything that you're gonna be at, plug all of that in, ways that people can see you live and all of that.
So August 29th, I'm performing, well, I'll be opening up for Paul Wall and Pastor Troy at the Spokes and Vogues car show. But we're doing
Paul
it.
Wall, baby.
You know I love me some Paul Wall. That's Southern Connect, yes. So that show will be at Skydeck on the 29th, and that next day will be the car show. And then July 24th, I'll be opening up for Pound Game Addison at the Vinyl Lounge.
Ooh.
So that's what I got coming up.
Come on,
soon,
yeah.
so.
And ladies, tell me anything, Kiara, it could be music bookings, like anything, your hours. But yeah, but ladies, plug in ways that people can meet y'all and get with y'all in real life.
Yes, I actually have a show on this weekend, the 24th. It's the 7th anniversary of the Ring. I'm gonna be there. I'm bringing one of my best friends out to perform with me. And it's gonna be a really cool lineup. It's gonna be a lot of people there that's actually really good. So I'm excited about that. Again, we got music coming, all of that.
And the Ring is cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know this is the 7th anniversary. That's awesome.
Yes.
Intutai, plug it in. How can people support John Early as well?
Yes, so I do have their information in the Fix My Crown music video, as well as all of the businesses that contributed. So what Intutai got coming up, June 21st, I will be performing at Community Day at Hadley Park, and best believe Fix My Crown will be in rotation. That'll be my second time performing that. And then I have a collaboration coming up with my nonprofit, Define Design, where we are focusing on a women's version of Fix My Crown. So there will be another version, and everybody is welcome to come show love and support, but that organization is to support young black girls that's been through trauma and in the system. So we're highlighting the Fly Girl edition. Shout out to Define Design. So yes, there will be another Fix My Crown music video releasing soon.
And ladies, and about this last minute, plug social medias, websites, DSPs, any way that people can turn their televisions off, pick the phone up, and connect with you. Pearl, start us off.
So you can find me on all, when I say all platforms, I mean literally all of them, including LinkedIn. as the Queen says, just like Simon says, everything's spelled the regular way. So just, you know, tap in, find that. And on all platforms, there's always a little link at the top of ways you can help, ways you can support. So click on that and have fun.
Kiara, that same thing.
Same thing. I'm everywhere, all streaming platforms. It's gonna be KiaratheSoulChild.
Instagram, Facebook, same thing.
Same thing. It's KiaratheSoulChild. I'm on all streaming services.
Yes. Intutai, in the song.
And you guys can find me on all platforms, Intutai the artist, Instagram, Intutai1414, and that is INTUTAI.
And ladies, and same digital streaming platforms.
Yes, everything on there. Intutai the artist on all streaming platforms.
Ladies, thank you for just sharing your stories with me. Thank you for sharing this morning with me, and thank you for the work that you do in Nashville. I am extremely proud of all of y'all, and it is an honor to be able to share my platform. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. And to our viewers, thank you for just tuning in one more morning, and thank you for the opportunity to share the stories that matter most to Nashville. I wish you a good morning.